All right. Hello, everyone. Emergency podcast for After Further Review. The Bruins have traded for JJ Peterka. We are reacted to it. It is Saturday. I am extremely hungover this morning. So, we're just I'm gonna talk out my hangover with the Bruins trading for JJ. Marcus, how are we?
I'm doing great. It's actually sunny for once because it's been raining the past couple of days. But what a whirlwind of a few hours we had at the NHL draft yesterday, and I'm still trying to wake up too. It was a late night last night for me as well.
Yeah, there's no a
So,
draft is going on. This is your Super Bowl, man. How do you feel? This is
well,
what you live for every year.
if we're talking about like initial thoughts on the trade, personally for me, I think this is a good trade for the Bruins. I think if you're looking at what they needed and kind of like what they needed to address for the win now. I don't want to say like it's a win now thing, but if you're talking about what they needed to address this offseason, the rest of the division is building up. They're making these swings. The Bruins needed to do that too. But what you looked at in the current market, you're hearing names like Vincent Trocheck, Rasmus Ristolainen, right? Those are the names that are getting thrown around. And you're wondering, it's really quiet on the Bruins front. What are they doing? I feel like this Paterka fits the Bruins window and what they're trying to look for perfectly. He is a great first step. It's not end all be all, but it's a great first step for sure. That's my initial thoughts. Now you go.
I bet you can. I bet. Well, I know. I'm gonna go. I'm saying. I bet you could. You can what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
All right. When I first heard it, I was like, "What?" And then I did some
Wait,
research.
well, wait, you first heard it from me. So after I called you, because just to give some context, people, Pat was with his friends and I called him. I go, "Are you seeing what's happening?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "The Bruins are trading for Paterka."
I
So
wasn't on
after
my
I,
phone. That's why. My first time. The first time on my phone in like an hour was you calling me. So I was like, "What's up?" And then I looked at my phone. I was like, "Oh, the Bruins are trading for JJ Peterka."
so what went on after that? Like, what were you
I
thinking?
I did some more research. I thought long and hard about you. You said some very mean things to me on the phone, and I didn't like that. And so I did further research on it, and he's 23, 24.
24.
He's 24. He's a young player in this league trying to make it happen. They overpaid for him. Okay. And if you disagree with that, I don't know what to tell you. They gave up 2 firsts for a guy who hasn't hit 70 points. Now, I understand he's played like 8 games in the league or whatever the hell it is. And so he's only going to get better, we think. But if I am looking at the trade critically, it's a good player, like you said. It's a top 6, projected forward. He's got talent. He's got term, which is big, right? He's not a rental, or not. He wouldn't be a rental, obviously, because this is the off season. But you know what I mean, right? He's not a 1 year guy or whatever. He's got 4 years. I don't. Did the contract stuff come out? Are we paying? What are we paying?
So the way the Bruins, I'll just show it. So the way the Bruins are paying this based on, oh, that's their picks. This is the Bruins' current cap situation. If you look at the lineup, just from what it looks like last year, Paterka fills in the top 6. The Bruins take on no other contracts. They take on no other players. I was wondering, originally for me, I was wondering if there was another player that the Bruins were going to include in the deal, like going the other way. Clearly, that's not the case. So they had 15 million in cap space. We take on the full 7.7 for the next 4 years. He's 24, but yeah, we only have 7 million to work with within that window.
All right, yeah. No, they overpaid for the player. However, I'm not mad at them for doing it because they had to do something. And as Don Sweeney's proven time and time again, he can't draft. So screw those picks anyway, to be honest with you. Yeah, because I'm not going to get mad at them because they needed to address their top end talent and they're trying to do that, which is what we want them to do. And right, you got to get something, you often got to give up something, as they say in this world. I can't believe the trade market is what it is right now. First are just flying out the window on these teams. Like everyone's just trading firsts around. Like they mean nothing anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had like McTavish last night. He got dealt with the Blues, and then Dorofeyev went to the Rangers too, and that was a first round pick, but it was a was a much later one. But yeah,
Um,
we've been having first round picks everywhere. I want to take us back though a bit because looking at the deal, when I got off the phone with you and we're waiting, like McKenna gets picked, then the Sharks are on the clock, and I'm waiting for the speculation starts to hit with fans. You're starting to see, oh God, if they give up one of Dean or Hagen's, and you're
there's
trying
no
to
way they're
wonder.
gonna pay this. There's no way.
So I was going to get into that where you look at the assets that the Bruins could have possibly traded in this deal to get Peterka, right? Especially considering all the other deals, mock trades that we've seen. I'm going to take you back to when we discussed the Vincent Trocheck mock trade, where that was two firsts and Patra. Okay. I ask you that, or I present this. Would you rather that for a veteran with 2 years left at center, or would you rather Paterka for those two firsts? Like, think
Marcus,
about it. I know I'm trying to say like they could
it's
have
not
dealt
even
those.
close though.
I know it's not even close, but when you talk about what the Bruins have in terms of their like future surplus and what they could have traded away, I think this is best case scenario
That's what, no,
given
but
the.
that's what I'm saying. It's not even. I would much rather this deal over freaking Vincent Trocheck at 33 or wherever the hell he is.
But I think I would rebut the like, yeah, two first seems a bit like like
I would have
because
liked to see. I was going to ask you this. I would have liked to seen one pick, one prospect. I think they could have gotten the deal done with that.
yeah,
I
that
don't know they had
probably
to do. I don't know they had to do the second first, to be honest.
yeah, then again, like I probably was thinking like my first initial thought was tonight's first or last night's first round pick, and then like Lorei or Patra's RFA rights or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's what I was
last
thinking initially.
trading last night's pick makes sense because I don't know if they really felt like they could do anything at 23, right? So
Yeah,
like
no.
because their needs, like you kept asking, best player available or their needs on defense, right? Like you kept saying, I don't know if they really were going to be able to find a defenseman at 20 that was worth, to be picked at 23. So, they got a top end talent out of it. That's what we wanted. He's German too, which everyone loves, of course. Shocker, he's German. Um,
I'm gonna quickly pull up the trade, like so we can kind of like just like see what it is. So the Bruins got Peterka last night. In exchange, they trade away the 26th first from last night at 23rd overall. Detroit actually traded for it from Utah to select JP Hurlbert, who's committed to Michigan. He's a great forward from the WHL. And then we traded the 28th first round pick from Florida that we got from Florida in the Brad Marchand deal. The Bruins put a top 10 protection on it. And I think that's something that
the
is,
Bruins did.
I think that's something that's definitely a huge
Oh, I missed
detail
that. Okay, that's
that
interesting.
people aren't putting. So it's not like both these picks. Obviously, we know the status of one of the picks. You pick a very good forward prospect for Detroit, or Utah just traded it away for a goaltender. So whatever there. The 28 pick, if we want to get into that a little bit, the fact that it's top 10 protected, if Florida finishes, I believe it's like this. If Florida finishes top 10 in the draft lottery, you have a little buffer zone of like, okay, the Bruins now have a decision of they can keep the 28 pick based on where they see the draft, and what prospects they could potentially pick, or they can opt to give their 2029 first round pick to Utah. So there's some optionability there for them.
It's
And
so
I
strange to
think
me, just the
what?
way picks work. Sorry to cut you off. Like it's just like
No,
so
what?
it's such a mess. And I was thinking about this too. At least the good part is we don't have to worry about who gets what pick now, because we just gave them away. But like, remember that was the whole thing of like, how are we going to get Florida's pick ever? And like, are they ever going to give it to us? And Montreal's pick, are we ever going to get that? Or not
Yeah.
Montreal, Toronto. Sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's such a like crazy, just like mess. But the top 10 protected thing is interesting. If the Panthers finish top 10 or finish in the top 10, or the Bruins, you're saying.
If the Panther, because the Bruins own it, it's theirs. But if the
Yeah.
Panthers fall within the top 10 following the results of 2028's draft lottery, the Bruins can choose to transfer to instead, if that's the case, transfer their own 2029 first round pick to Utah instead. So it's like if that pick is top 10 and the Bruins are like, Utah's not taking that pick. Screw that. We want that pick. Like they can do that.
Yeah, I
And then
get
they can
that. Why
give
wouldn't it be the Bruins though? Why if the Bruins finish top 10? I thought no.
because the picks originally like the pick fall because the Panthers traded it to us, right? The pick falls because it's originally owned by the Panthers. It the way the pick dictates is how Florida finishes. Sorry, that took me a bit.
You don't even like no one. No, I'm saying this is the problem is that no one can even explain it because it's
No, it
like
makes sense
crazy.
though. It makes
No,
sense
it
though because
doesn't.
no, because the Bruins finished 23rd in the entire draft, right? Like that's
Yeah,
if they dealt that pick away to Utah, Utah would have been picking at that spot
but
last night.
I'm saying the Panthers gave us the pick, so now it's like the Panthers are now irrelevant. It's on us. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
No, because we got that pick from them and gave away Brad Marchand. But the status of the pick still falls on how Florida performs because that's their own pick in that draft year. You understand?
that's crazy to me that that works like that. That's ridiculous.
So now
You
because
gave the pick away. Like you don't get to just decide now if you like. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, they have no decision on it anymore. The
no,
pick
I
is
get that, but
resolved.
like you should have no more like terms on it, like factors. Like you gave it away. It's now not yours anymore. We decide how it works now. It's on us.
So you're saying you think that, or at least you thought that the pick would fall in the favor. Well, that can't be the case for the Bruins because they have their own 2028 first, along
Exactly.
with.
That's the point. Don't give first round picks away. That's how that should be. You need to think about that.
I don't get what
You
you're
gave
saying
it.
right
You
now.
gave away a first for Brad Marchand. The terms were if you guys made the semifinal, wherever it was, that turns into a first, right?
And it turned into a first.
Yes. Now it's ours. Thanks. We have a first now. Goodbye. Like, and you shut the, you hang up
No,
the
that's
phone.
exactly
That's how that should work.
That's how it works. You're literally explaining how it works. It's
Yeah, but
just
then
that
it's like, well, now we have to worry about how the Panthers do. Like, it's like, why? It's ours.
because that's their own draft pick that they have a right to. That
They don't have a. You gave it away.
You can't.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that this is the rule is stupid, is what I'm saying.
No, because okay, I'll just end it on this and then we can talk more Peterka. If the Bruins have two draft picks, okay, one that falls based on where they finish, and then one that falls based on they can't have two draft picks that bank on where they finish because it would be the same pick. Like that doesn't make sense. Like they can't have
That's a
their
good
own
way to explain it.
13th, they can't have their own
Yeah,
13th
no, that
overall
makes
pick.
sense. All right, that makes sense. But what I'm saying is, I guess I just hate protections because what I'm saying is like, what I'm saying is, so, but like, what doesn't top 10 protected mean that if the Panthers finish in the top 10, they keep it? I thought is what that means.
Not anymore. The Bruins themselves, the pick. So remember the Marchand debacle, like where the playoffs finish and everything. That was all resolved, and as a result, because he won the cup and all that,
The
the
second
Bruins
turned into a
received
first. Yeah.
the second turned into a first, and it was pushed back to 2028. Resolved. The Bruins, obviously, wherever Florida finishes, that's where it is for the Bruins because they own the rights to the pick. However, the Bruins themselves, because they are giving away the pick, said if Florida finishes top 10, we can still do something with it. That's what they're saying. Because they own the rights to the pick, they now can dictate how the pick can resolve.
So now 3 teams own this pick, apparently. I guess
That's how it works. That's how it works.
That's ridiculous. So, like, what if Panthers finish like, they win the cup again? They finish 32nd. Like, what happens?
Then then it goes straight to Utah. Straight up. But if it falls with it, so here's how the draft capital works out. We still don't know what the Toronto pick looks like, but look in the top row. I haven't updated this like in a while, except for the top row. So bear with me if there's something like a typo there. But the top row is what I want people to focus on. That pick, that
so
2020.
funny to me.
Yeah, I know it is hilarious.
Just the
but
X's. I don't know why I laugh at that. Sorry, continue.
well, they don't own them anymore. But well, I should put a partial ownership there. So that 2028 first is if it falls out of the top 10, it's Utah's straight up. If it goes 32nd, like that kind of works in the favor of the Bruins unless somebody falls to Utah and they decide to take it. Like anything could happen with this pick. Hindsight is though, I think a huge detail that people are people are emphasizing that I want to say here too is out of those draft picks, those are the two best ones that you could have given away for a player of this caliber because of the fact that the Panthers have just been reloading. They revamped their roster. We talked about how they got Brady Tkachuk for the first 10 minutes of our last show. They're gonna be
well, we didn't actually, according to one comment. So
they went 20 minutes. They went into they're back in a competitive window. They're gonna be dominant with Brady Tkachuk. Hypothetically, like that's how it's gonna work. So it might finish within the 20 to 32 window. It's gonna be a late first. The question I also thought of is would you rather those two picks, or what helps you more? Those two picks or Peterka? And I look at it and I say, Peterka fits this team and its need perfectly. I think it's a perfect. I know you talked about it being an overpay, but I think given what you're getting in terms of the fit, in terms of the age, in terms of the upside, because he's 24 and he's already had multiple 20+ goal seasons. He nearly scored 70 points, I think, when he was 22. I don't have the stats in front of me. But what I'm saying is, looking at it from a base point value, I think that this is a perfect opportunity for Peterka to slide into a top 6 where he could fit with the Bruins. Because if you look at what people from Utah were saying, the term I keep hearing is there were too many cooks in the kitchen last year. And even then, he still almost had 50.
I don't love that though.
What worries you about that?
Well, like the too many cooks in the kitchen debate. So it's like, why was he the one that they decided to kick out? Right? Like that's what I always think about. And I saw that guy say that like he's not really he is a top 6 player, but like he doesn't play like it sometimes. That one guy from Utah was saying that.
What, from my story you're saying?
Yeah. Right. He's like a third line winger that plays like a second line winger. And I was like, oh.
I took that as you can't, because this is what I heard him say. And I'm just gonna paraphrase. You can't play him outside of the top 6. But for him, like based on what you're looking at in terms of the profile of the player, Peterka is a guy that is a skilled winger, is fast, is young, and I think on that left wing side, right? Obviously, we talk about Casey Middles. What this does for the lineup, I think,
and moves
where you fit him in. What?
Moves everybody down one.
It moves everybody down one where you look at, okay, think about who you have on your left wing side. You have Geeky, you have Middlestat, you have Janot, I think. Yeah. And then
I mean, that fourth line is like 3 centers, to be honest.
You have basically it does bump everyone down, and you're just inserting a very skilled winger. Out of everyone who's under 25 on the Bruins current roster that played a game last season, forward wise, he scored the most points, and that wasn't even his career high. So looking at it from a base level, I just think given the window the Bruins are in.
I'm sorry, say that again. What?
Out of every forward on the Bruins who's under 25, he has the most.
They have like one, Marcus. It's like Hagens and
Minton. Okay, they have like 7, but that's just like something that
they have 7 players under 25.
If you count Patra and Hagens,
I don't because Patra didn't play for the Bruins last year.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is like it's an immediate like huge add to your lineup. No matter how you look at it.
He played like 4 games to people in the comments. I understand Patra did play for the Bruins. I'm saying that he didn't play a lot.
No, you're right. You're totally right. That's the stat is flawed because of the fact that Hagens didn't play much and neither did. But looking at a base level, I think it's a huge insertion.
Yeah. No, he's definitely better than what they have. I mean, no one's debating that, right? He's they got a professional NHL player who can produce on your top 6. I keep freezing. I don't know why that keeps happening. Hello? Am I back?
You're back. You're good.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
This thing. All right.
You're fine. You're talking on my.
Did you hear my rant though?
Kind of. It was just frozen while you were doing it. So it was kind of funny.
Right. Yeah. No, they got a professional player who can play top 6 minutes, who can produce, we think, top 6 points. And yeah, it comes at a hefty price sometimes. That's what the, draft, the draft is the highest of value, right? When people are trading right around the draft, that's when teams demand the most. You got to get something to get something, or you got to give something to get something, as they say in life. I like the trade. I think they overpaid for him a little bit. I would have loved them to maybe keep one of the firsts, but I'm not going to criticize them. Now, if Peterka sucks, oh man, those 2 first-round picks are going to annoy a lot of people.
Yeah, I do think that there is risk involved with, we talk about all the upside and just all the great stuff about him and the intrigue of what he could be here, considering the fact that he's not even in his prime. But then again, there is the question of, okay, I thought about this too. He has been dealt away twice, right? This is the second time.
The biggest
in the first year. It clearly didn't work out the first year in Utah. So there's something that, kind of makes you think a little like what's going on here.
Yeah.
However, given everything that we could consider, I do like the fact that there's the German connection with Marco Sturm, right? Like just load up.
Of course you do.
Just load up the Germans,
they can
right?
speak German on the bench.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's a player who's familiar with a fellow countryman, right? I think I think that that's a positive there. I also think that given the fact that Utah had so many great skilled top 6 players and he wasn't within that, even from listening to what people in Utah were saying, he didn't get enough power play time in Utah, and yet he still was getting like 50 points, right?
But like, why though? That's what I wonder. Like, why not if he's so good? Because like, who is Utah? Like, what, they just loaded with studs? Like, who are you?
They got like Cooley, Gunther. Here, I'm gonna look. They got like
2, and then Keller. That's 3. You need 5 on your power play.
Keller. I assume they consider. What was it? They added in Daniel But, who was like a very good player for them. They got Sergachev, Uyghur on defense, Dursey. I don't really know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, who are you to say that you're loaded with forwards, Utah? You guys suck. They don't suck. They're pretty good. And I actually kind of like them. But like, you know what I'm saying? They're an average team. They're like the Bruins.
Yeah, but I think given the amount of young talent that they already have and the players that they have coming in from their prospect pool, I kind of look at it as this fits the Bruins better considering they don't have this guy.
I think so. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I was just thinking to myself, I was like, who is the Utah Mammoth to think that they're like, the Vegas Golden Knights up front, like in terms of talent? Like, who are you?
But yeah, I mean, but if you look at their youth, like they do have a lot. Like it's an over.
It's Cooley kind of a letdown. Why do I feel like that? Or was he hurt last year a lot? Cooley.
I haven't checked on it.
I feel like he's been like disappointing. I don't know if that's true though. Like I feel like Cooley in Utah. Like I feel like Utah fan, or like I guess Arizona fans are kind of disappointed in him so far. He was a stud at Minnesota, but
I'd say he's gradually been like increasing his production. But
okay,
sorry, I mentioned previously like the left wing. Peterka can also play right, and
well, there it is. I mean, that's
and I put him on the right.
Nothing says Bruin like a guy like a wing who can play left and right.
But I think that this addition, like the Bruins, definitely when you look at who they had personnel wise, I look at Peterka and I also say like, okay, that power play time immediately he's in there, and I can only think, given the fact that Pastrnak, I don't want to say like Morgan Geekie or Casey Middlestat or anybody couldn't fit that left wing side, but Peterka for me, if you're looking at next year's lineup, like thinking about it right away, if he's not like on the second line with Zacha and Middlestat, you got to think he goes right up there with David Pastrnak. You got to at least think that that's something they consider.
Top line, yeah. I mean, maybe he grows into the top line role, huh? Minton, Pastrnak, Peterka as your first line next year.
I'd certainly enjoy that.
I feel like Zacha, you can play with everybody. So like, I'm not worried about him on the second, right? Because Zacha just seems like that type of player where like he can just gel with anyone. I probably wouldn't put him with Higgins, and then Obviously, Geeky and Pasternak don't work. We know this. So it's just like you can't put those two together.
Yeah. But given everything, though, I think overall, like the way you look at this, I just want to ask you, like I don't think it's, or not even ask, I just want to present this. I don't think this is the last move that the Bruins do. Like this isn't the cup. This isn't like this doesn't put them over
Oh,
for a Stanley
really?
Cup.
This isn't the cup run
I'm
now.
just
We're not ready to roll.
I'm just stating it, dude. This doesn't put them over the hump for that. But I do think getting a player that profiles like this, I think that's a huge step forward, given if he hits.
Defense.
Given if he hits. So Pat, you just whispered defense. You're good.
Like I'm gonna scream it until they do something. They have to address the defense, man. You cannot roll out the same six. Like, please don't do that. I mean, we didn't even talk about this too. Sweeney at a press conference, my jaw dropped when he said they're interested in Peak coming back at $5 million, whatever the hell it is. No thanks, buddy. Are you kidding me?
So now we look forward and we say, I think there are some questions to ask with what is now the status of Victor Arvidsson? Because if you think about at base level, what is being replaced, Arvidsson scored 25 goals last year. The only differences between Peterka and Arvidsson is that Arvidsson's a UFA, Peterka signed, but Peterka scored 25 goals as well. Like you automatically kind of replace that.
And he's a lot younger.
And he's a lot younger too, which is definitely plays in the Bruins' favor. So that makes me wonder where Arvidsson fits in. Are they out on him? Is he going to explore the market? We haven't heard anything on that.
I think he's definitely going to explore the market. I mean, I feel like that's a given at this point, you know?
So you don't think like there's a possibility to bring him back?
I think there's a possibility to bring him back. I just think like if the Bruins and Arvidsson were serious, like I feel like you would have heard it by now, right? That like they're in talks. Like I don't think it's been dead quiet. So I just feel like I know he said that they're interested in Arvidsson. Like Sweeney said that they're interested in Arvidsson and Peak, but they just haven't found a decision. That usually to me means the guy's going to go to free agency and see what happens.
Yeah. As for the case of right shot D, which we both have emphasized that that's something that they need to address, given what they have there depth wise. I wonder what options are out there because or at least you've seen what I was thinking in terms of like the players that are out there, the forwards that they could have added, the defense that they could have added. Sweeney went completely off the board. Like if we're sitting here a day ago before the draft, we're not discussing them getting a young, fast winger that's signed for a long time. Like we just don't think that's possible. Like that just doesn't feel like a possibility. And yet he went out and did it. So now that only makes me wonder with all the names at defense that we've heard, the Rasmus Andersons, the Ristolainens, Werenski's name might circle around, but that's like way out of the ballpark.
There's no way.
That's way out of the ballpark.
I've been seeing people on Twitter. It's a fun fantasy, everybody. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. If you know what, I'll say it here. I'll make we were in the podcast business, all about entertainment. If Zach Werenski's a Bruin, I will do something, whatever the comments say for me to do.
if the Bruins somehow acquire him.
Yeah, without giving up like the world, like that's what it's going to require.
Well, we already saw imagine what a Norris Trophy winner commands compared to what Peterka does. You know what I mean? Like
that's Pat, McAvoy and Zach are really good friends.
So now I almost think, okay, moving forward, I think there was a question asked yesterday during the press conference, like late last night, but I was pretty sleepy, so I didn't really like catch it all the way. But there was a question that directly asked Sweeney. They go, "Is right shot defense your number one priority now?" He goes, "We're gonna look at all options, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Like, yeah, man. Look at the goaltender. Look at the coach. Look at the fan base. Look at everywhere. Just see where you need improvements besides the one glaring improvement that you definitely need, and you get exposed in the playoffs every single year because you're not good enough on defense.
So, I'm really trying to think of what names that he's nicer at. By the way, But yeah, they do need
Just like, it's just crazy to me. We say it every year. They need better. They need to get better on D. They kind of do it, not really, and it's the same thing every year.
Yeah. So they do need to get McAvoy some help to so he doesn't have to minute eat and carry the load on that side. So in terms of the options that we have heard, I think realistically, I don't like to say it, but Ristolainen might be your best bet in terms of that. I've also thought about a name like Zach Whitecloud from Calgary. I don't know what that looks like in terms of a deal, but he kind of fits. He kind of fits he's been on a Stanley Cup contending team in Vegas before. He's at a reasonable cap hit that you could extend reasonably, and I like the fit personally there.
A man
But
could dream, but I mean, like Slavin would be the dream.
a man can dream, but when you think about where they are cap space wise at 7 million, like if the dream is getting a Rasmus Anderson for what he wants to command at market value, which would probably be like 8 or 9 million, you have 7 million, you're gonna have to move off a contract somehow.
Rasmus Anderson kind of scares me. I don't know.
Scares you because
I don't know. I just don't. There's something I don't like about him. Whenever I find myself not liking him, whenever I watch him play.
yeah, he kind of played himself a bit out of a few $1 million, like from what people were saying. I wasn't really too focused on him. I was just amazed by Carolina's comeback.
Well, just also he's been linked to the Bruins for like 4 years now. What it feels like, in I
same
don't
with
know.
Noah Hannafin.
Stuff, yeah, that stuff just bugs me because I feel like it's it's kind of run its course. It's run at this point. Oh my god, the amount of times Chikrin's been a Bruin, I feel like since I've been born, to be honest.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see where they go from here. But you have to think if they do want to spend the big bucks on a defenseman to add to the group, they $7 million you can only do so much with. You're gonna have to think that they might have to dump a contract. It might happen today in round 2, which has already begun, and I can't believe I'm not looking at it.
I hate Marcus is freaking out, guys. You can't watch round 2 of the draft.
But
hey, so yeah, I know you don't like it. There's 8.5 million in between the pipes. That's kind of useless.
You would consider a Vezina Trophy contending goaltender.
Oh useless. My god, you're gonna ride that forever, aren't you?
At
he
was
a Vezina candidate at 908 save percentage and 1 shutout.
At 8.25 million for the next however many years you have him, when Igor Shesterkin's making 11 something.
Okay, but you just went on a rant how they have no cap space, and I just gave you a solution, and now you hate it. It's like
you would trade. We talked. I
wouldn't trade him just to trade him, but if you need a player, yeah, I don't know, maybe.
The question is though, what does that player look like for you? What
swimming for Werenski, straight up, go.
No, I think Columbus likes Jet Greaves a little too much, from what I've heard, but. No, anyways, I did want to ask this too for you. I know you don't really, I know you're just always focused on the team itself. You're always focused on the team, the roster. But something that Elliot Friedman also reported that the Bruins haven't exactly announced, but if he says it, it's probably true. Friedman said that the Bruins, or part of what motivated them to get Peterka, was bringing in former Sabres general manager Kevin Adams. And I just wanted to ask you if you thought anything of that.
The Bruins have a form of the Sabres general manager. What?
Kevin Adams is joining the Bruins as in some front office role.
I mean, I don't know. I think it was more Sweeney just, trying to appease the fan base because he's been getting yelled at for a week and a half. So I think he tried to make a move. Not to just make a move, right? I think it's it makes sense on paper. I think they're a little desperate, and they did what a desperate team does, and they overpaid for a decent player a little bit. That's what desperate teams do. I'm not going to fault them for that. They're trying to actively better their roster. That's what we want them to do.
Yeah.
Right. But teams aren't just going to hand you players, right? You're going to have to pay for them.
Let me ask you this. Would we be on here talking about this as much if it was Trocheck, or if it was any other veteran forward for those?
They gave up the 2 first, probably.
if they gave up the 2 firsts? You
I mean,
think
I don't mean to hate on Trocheck because the guy is,
I'm
he's
saying
he's a very good center, I guess, for a lot of teams. But like, I just at 33, I'm not giving up 2 firsts and a prospect. Like that's ridiculous.
so I'm saying, is the outlook as positive for you if it's an older player with less term as
It
like
would
more
just
of a
depend.
rental?
Like if Dylan Larkin, like you
Dylan
know,
Larkin for you?
yeah, like it would just depend on who it was. I don't know, but like
Well,
it. The 2 first to me is like they really want this guy, and he's a young player. Like he's an ascending player, right? That's a good word for it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe you made a good point. Is if it's Trocheck, maybe we don't have a podcast that's Saturday when I'm hungover. I don't know, but like, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that, but I like the move, sort of, and we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. Real quick on the Adams thing, because I just want to get this out. I think it's huge that the Bruins were saying that they wanted to bring in like an extra outside perspective, and I think looking at what he built in Buffalo, especially from like the draft and youth side of things, I know it's not him with everything, but given him as an outside perspective and seeing what culminated in Buffalo this past year, I love having I love the move of having a guy
Was he
like
part
him
of the
out of it.
15 years of suckery in Buffalo too, or no? Does that just get overlooked?
Oh my God. I'm going to overlook it for the amount of young talent that has like come to
Guys, he did
fruition.
his job 1 year. Congratulations, guy. You did your job
All
one
right.
out of the 20 years you were there. You did your job one time. Congratulations. Everyone else you get fired for doing that. But hey, let's hang a banner for him because he made the Buffalo made the playoffs again.
All right. All right.
Just
Let
kidding.
me
We have to talk about one thing. No, one more thing. Sorry, I'm not letting
I
you
have
off
one more
yet.
thing too, but what were you
The
gonna say?
Bruins fired, I guess, let go of their AHL coach. Marcus seems to think now the chains are off for Mr. Lysell. So let's talk about it.
Well, I was gonna mention what this means for the current roster going forward, considering they got a left wing, but we can push that out for a bit. Yeah, like I think that obviously
This might be your most ridiculous take. Sorry, continue.
it's not a ridiculous take. I just think that what was it? From what I've heard, from what I've seen, obviously the Providence Bruins have been a very winning AHL organization, but from what you hear from like reporting and everything, like I don't know all the details, but my perspective says that the Providence Bruins over the past couple of years were more focused on winning over what I think an AHL franchise or a program should be, which is developing young talent, or at least like when they have that young talent, like, yes, you always want to win. But at the same time,
I never understand how it doesn't go hand in hand. I've always thought about this. Like, if you're good in the AHL, that means you have good players. Like, isn't that like kind of the thing? Like, I've always like think about it like that.
well, clearly it's been one more than the other. And we've talked about who Providence has graduated.
Right, but like I know it doesn't work like this on paper, and I understand that like a guy like Hagen's right. He moves at the ranks quickly because of who he is and his status and where he's taken. I get all that. I'm saying like in theory on paper, it should be like if your players suck, then your team's gonna suck. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we can look at it either or way. I'm just saying, like, if the Bruins do qualify Lysell, I just wonder to see how that works. But given the way,
Marcus needs a whole season of Lysell
do.
on it in our face before he makes his final decision.
Lysol. Yeah, I hope they did. I hope they did qualify him. It does not sound likely that they did. Like
He's done here, Marcus. Give it up.
it,
The dream's over.
it would be a big like it'd be a big like headline post because it would be the end of an era for me.
The one thing I will say is like what the thing about Lysell that like it's gonna sound crazy coming from me because I'm not the biggest Lysell guy. It's not like he played bad when he was up here, so like I never understand the refusal to put him on the ice.
That was my biggest thing too, was I didn't understand how that worked. But I wanted to present this real quick if you're willing to pivot.
Yeah.
For me, and for those who are wondering, the Bruins AHL coach, he's now an assistant on the Vancouver Manny Malhotra's coaching staff. Real quick, what I think this says overall with the Peterka deal, looking at the base of the roster, the Bruins talked about the need of getting a number one center, or it's just been a looming topic forever. And there's the mention of, okay, we talk about Elias if Elias is that guy. Don Sweeney comes out and talks about, oh, there's centers by committee. But Cam Neely prior mentions in the center group, oh yeah, James Higgins or Fraser Minton could potentially evolve into that number one guy. I think this move of them getting a winger, a young winger, rather than addressing the need at center externally, I think that says that the organization believes in what they have at the center group from a young perspective.
Well, I don't know if they believe it. Yeah, they probably, they better. I mean, they're putting a lot on Higgins and Minton.
That's what I'm saying.
Minton deserves it. I would slow down on Higgins yet. I don't know if he's ready to, like, I'm hoping this is what they're doing. Like, he's going to start on the wing, I hope. Right? Because I don't know where he's going to play center.
In this current lineup.
Yeah, right? So, like, I'm hoping they're slow because, like, we had that conversation and a lot of people got mad at us for criticizing James Higgins. You know, I don't even know what it was. 7-game NHL career last year.
We weren't criticizing. We were just giving.
People thought we were criticizing it, but yeah, like they need to, slow down on Higgins, right? Let's let the kid breathe a little bit. Minton, rightfully so, has earned the role. Now he's going to get asked to do a lot more into this year. I bet he can handle it because he's a great player. But right, like we think he's gonna play with Pastrnak going forward. Correct?
It would be, I think, if you look, I mean, we'll see how training camp looks, but ideally, what it says to me is that not even from the perspective of Minton and Higgins. Like, if you look further down, you could discuss, Letourneau. You could discuss. I'm losing a bit here, but what I'm saying, or Patra. Those are all names where they look at, and Sweeney kind of raved about Patra before the draft, right? He said, like, Matty could fight for a role this year. So what that says for the Bruins organizationally is they like what they have as, like, for their young center group. And we'll see who they take in today. It doesn't really matter, though, compared to everything else. But what I think it says is they like what they have from a young perspective.
What were your thoughts on Mr. Lindholm?
Elias?
Yeah, that was overall, the only concerning one about the center group is that Don Sweeney just told the Boston fan base that Elias Lindholm basically kind of sucks now, and we just have to deal with it. So that was fun to listen to.
So if that back injury is just going to continue to linger, then like a Cranberry song, then you're just going to, like, have to deal with him on the bottom six. Like, I think once the Bruins, I've never, like, openly discussed this with you anywhere, but the best case scenario, given, like, his injuries and everything, and maybe he returns to form, maybe his back somehow doesn't give out. But if that back thing continues to be the case,
you do, like, long-term IL or something.
I mean, I don't know if that's something, but if he's playing, I just put him on the third line.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be on he's gonna be on the third line. I'm just saying, like, I've never heard a general manager come out and say, basically, yeah, I don't know, he kind of sucks now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of bizarre to me to, like, listen to that.
Yeah. So 5 years left at 775. You just hope the cap goes up and it just really works in your favor, where that 775 looks more like 4. But it's not. It's going to take.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish your thought on the young centers. I mean, Higgins and Minton, hopefully, and then maybe Patra.
Higgins and Minton, I just think that organizationally, the fact that they went out for a move and got a young winger instead, considering all the talk we've had about them, trading for a number one center, trading for Robert Thomas, maybe they get Dylan Larkin. Nowhere did we think they would go for a young winger. So that says to me that the pressure's not on them, but they believe in Minton and Higgins, and they say, okay, and even Patra and Letourneau in the future, and they say, okay, we're giving the keys to you guys. We're gonna push and develop you that way. So that's what I think.
It's like a Bruins all center line. What do you think about that? Let's have Higgins, Minton, and Patra all play together.
Well, they already have that because of the fourth line.
That's true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Utility
go.
guys, just a bunch of Boston Red Sox utility players, the Boston Bruins. A lot of Brock Holtz skating around out there.
But yeah. Any final thoughts about where they were now and how they look today?
Yeah, let me ask you one question, and we'll end on this. Again,
Okay.
I think it's good. Are they better than they were yesterday?
Yes.
I also agree.
You also agree?
I would agree as well. Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's the question you got to ask yourself. Are they better than they were yesterday?
Yes. They addressed
in terms of talent. Yes, they are. Right. So
they addressed a need. They got some skill. We were talking about how they need secondary scoring outside of Haas and Geeky. They got that, and they got the upside with it. And I think that's huge moving forward as they build up.
And like you just said, that's, usually that's going to cost you something, because players like that, you don't just hand them away to people,
Amen.
That's why the two first. However, I would have loved Sweeney to maybe do some negotiating and try to get one first out of that. But it felt like maybe Utah wasn't budging, and they had to get desperate and make the deal. So we'll see what happens. Who knows?
All right. Well, do you have anything else?
No. Well, I was just gonna say, like, are we signing off? Kind of. Yeah. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
I can sign off. Thank you guys for
Yeah. I was just gonna say one thing. This is gonna be the podcast, I think, this week. I mean, we were gonna only kind of talk about Peterka, but we've been recording for 50 minutes now. I go to Italy on Wednesday, so I'll be taking care of the Instagram. I'll be posting some stuff on that. I think me and Marcus have talked about it. I keep spitting into my microphone. I got to stop doing that.
Nobody's seeing that.
Yeah, I'm going to be posting some things. I'll just be having some fun. So please follow the Instagram. You can find it. It's just After Further Review on Instagram. Please, I'm sure Marcus will tag it and stuff. I'll be maybe posting Bruin stuff on free agency if there's any, but I'll be also posting, stupid things like pizza reviews and wine reviews and stuff like that. And the Coliseum, I don't know, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to Maine right now. Marcus, go ahead and sign him off, if you will.
All right. Well, we can't wait for all that happens with the Bruins, and I can't wait for Pat to experience Italy. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you legends in the next one. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed what you watched, please consider subscribing to the After Further Review show on YouTube, where it's actually on Marcusi, but we'll figure out a YouTube channel in the meantime. Please consider also listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're probably available on it, so go check us out there. Also, find us on Instagram. Follow us at After Further Review Show, where you can find clips. And our content is everywhere with player interviews, podcasts, and so much more fun stuff that me and Pat love doing around the Bruins, the NHL, and beyond. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope to see more of you. Bye-bye.